Welcome to another episode of Out of the Pods. I'm Deep Tea.
And I'm Natalie. I love that we are sitting next to each other right now. So if you're watching on our YouTube channel, we are like recording virtually, but Deep Tea and I are in the same room because we are getting ready to talk to Tyler Cameron. Woo! If you don't know Tyler Cameron, he was a contestant on The Bachelorette. He is probably the most popular male contestant from that franchise. He has like 2.2 million Instagram followers. Wow. And so we're talking about the impact of social media with him, and who's better to talk about that than him?
Yeah. I'm super excited because I think we haven't had a male perspective on this podcast yet, and I'm just excited, to get a different perspective.
Yeah, we like to keep it diverse on this podcast, so we're excited.
Yes.
Before we talk to Tyler, though,
news?
News?
Life news?
What life news? Actually, there is quite a bit of life news. Deep Tea's in love.
I don't know if I'm in love, but I'm very smitten. I'm smitten over man.
Literally, like anytime Deep Tea and I are working together, she's like giggling to herself as she's texting on her phone. She's like, ha 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 ha.
Dude, we have a lot of conversations. I talk to him quite often, and it's weird because like we do FaceTime dates too, and it's like, oh.
Because he's not based in Chicago.
No, he's not from Chicago. So, we're trying out the whole long distance type of thing.
Shout out to beep, 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 beep.
What is that?
I was pretending like I was going to say his name.
Don't do that. That's bad. Yeah, we can't out him.
He's an A-list actor, so it's...
keep the mouth shut. No. I am very smitten. I'm happy, which is so weird because just like 3 weeks ago on this episode or on the podcast, I was like talking about how I don't have time to date and I really don't care to. I was like, nah.
And here we are.
Here we are.
She's in love.
I'm not in love, you guys, but I am excited. I'm excited about a man for the first time in a while. So
yeah.
How's your dating life going, sweets?
I give it a 4 out of 10.
4?
Yeah.
That's low.
Yeah. I feel like I'm meeting guys, but not meeting the right guys, which, I think, I don't know why that's happening to me.
It takes time.
Yeah.
Plus you have to be in the right, like, frame of mind too. And, lately you said you've been like kind of tired and like blah.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I've been talking about it. Like I'm getting my body ready to go through egg freezing. And I got off birth control. I've been on birth control since I was 15. I initially took it because I used to get really painful menstrual cramps. And so it helped alleviate that pain. Like I used to like pass out or have to skip several days of school. And so going off of it, it's been like a month or 2 now. And my body is just like, I just feel like shit. Like I'm breaking out. If you guys are watching YouTube, I have like 20 new zits on my face, which is fine. That's life. But it's just like, it's
hormones.
Yeah, like it's never happened to me. And I'm like, like I don't feel my best. So dating's the last thing on my mind. And the last thing I really want to do is like, go out. So that's the life update. In Love is Blind updates, again, we're in off season. Nothing's happening really. I will say the only thing that I saw that I thought was really fun is Love is Blind filed to trademark Love is Wine. And people are thinking it's for like wine glasses, anything alcohol.
So people can buy gold goblets now?
I guess they're going to call it Love is Wine.
Damn. I held on to my gold goblets so that I could like have a special piece of Love is Wine, but now everyone's going to have that.
Well, they already have those gold goblets. You could buy it off the Netflix store.
I didn't.
But if we ever want to change our podcast name to Love is Wine, we can't because it's being trademarked.
Wait, that's so funny. So drink Love is Wine while you watch Love is Blind.
Yeah.
Say that 3 times.
What?
Great, ready, go. Drink Love is Wine while you watch Love is Blind. So pretty much you can't say it.
I already forgot the sentence I was supposed to repeat. But yeah, I think that's so fun. Like, I think it's such a good business idea, like to buy those gold goblets if you're a huge fan of the show. I personally hate them. They give me PTSD. But, I think if You like them? Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Wait, that's good. Are you punny?
Yeah, I'm being very punny today. Well, that was just my only pun, but anyways.
I love
Well, that's kind of it. And we're going to get right into interviewing Tyler. We're so excited.
Can't wait.
Tyler, Cameron, welcome to Out of the Pods. We are so excited to have you. You are our first non-Love is Blind guest. So
Wow. That's
we're
an
excited to ask you all the questions.
honor.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
thrilled to be here. I'm a
Um,
recent huge fan of the show, so I'm excited to be here. Thank you guys for having me. Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
yeah,
I'm so
absolutely.
excited that you've watched Love is Blind and it's one of your favorites because I really didn't think you watched it. So I'm
No,
excited
I'm
for
hooked. I'm
this.
hooked. I had a friend get me on the show, and then I just kept with it now. So I watched three and I watched four. Sorry, I didn't
Okay,
watch.
well, before we get into your love for Love is Blind, we're going to share a little bit about you to our listeners. So, we have an international podcast. You're from Bachelor Nation, specifically the US version of The Bachelorette. So, most of our US listeners will know who you are. But for those of you who don't live in the US or don't watch any of the Bachelor slash Bachelor Nation shows, Tyler was on season 15 of the US's The Bachelorette, where Hannah Brown was the lead. Tyler was her runner up and really got pushed into fame after the show. I mean, Tyler, you received so much national attention at the time, and I would say you are probably the most popular male contestant from that franchise. So, if anyone knows what it means to be big on social media, it's you and the impact social media has on our self confidence and self worth. So, we're
Definitely,
excited to
definitely.
talk to you about it today.
No, I'm excited to be here. I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Yeah, welcome. I
Le-
know like a lot of my friends and family are obsessed with you. So when I
Really?
told them you're coming on the pod, they were like, oh, tell him. My sister literally texted me and she's like, please tell Tyler I love him. And I was like,
Well, when I come to
okay, Divya, you
Chicago,
can't
we'll
shoot
hang
your
out with
shot from
all of
out of
them.
the pod.
There we go.
Yeah.
When I come to Chicago, we'll hang out with all of them.
Yes.
Amazing. Okay, we like starting from the very beginning. How did you end up on The Bachelorette?
Oh man, it started off as a joke. I was home one day. I was like studying for my GC license to become a builder, and I saw an ad for the WWE, and so I wrote some crazy ass things in the resume, whatever, and application, and I sent it to my buddies. And when I sent it to my buddies, like, oh, this is hilarious! Like, find more things to sign up for. So I did some digging. I found the Bachelorette. Once again, wrote crazy things into that, and they just kept calling me, and I did interviews, and I drove down to Fort Lauderdale and met them, and they flew me out to LA. And the next thing you know, they're like, "Hey, we want you on this show." I'm like, "Oh, well, all right, here we go."
Wait, did you say WWE?
Yeah, I was trying to go in the WWE as a joke first, and then it just turned into the Bachelorette. So I literally wrote like, I want to run around in a red speedo and put people in leg locks.
Okay, what's so interesting to us is, The Bachelorette is so different from Love is Blind. Like you have 25 to like 30 men vying for the love of one person. Did you like do you have to be competitive to be on that show? Like what's it like competing really for the love of one person?
Yeah, I think, at first I wasn't very, competitive in it because I'm not really like a competitive guy when it comes to girls. Like either you want me or you don't. But then I realized
Yeah.
really quickly in that
Same.
show, you can't act that way. You got to go for it and you got to be competitive. And because if not, these
Mhm.
guys are going to do whatever they can to get more time than you, step over you, talk about you. And so I learned quickly that you got to be competitive in this, whether you're on a group date, whatever it is. If you're during a cocktail hour, you got to fight your way to talk. You got to fight your way to stand out, because you got to find ways to make moments throughout that because it's hard. You really don't get that much time with the person.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so different than Love is Blind too, because we're in the pods for hours and hours, whereas you guys are like really fighting to get even a little bit of one-on-one time. And so did you like ever when you were, in this not competitive nature, but like you have 20 to 30 men, all fighting for the same girl? Like, did you ever reach a point where you were like, you know what, maybe I'm not into this girl? Or were you like always like, no, I'm actually like I want to fall in love and I want to get married to this person.
Yeah, no, I remember when I was getting interviewed for the show, or no, not when I was getting interviewed, but when I was doing my little preview tape that they used like for the beginning of the show, and they were like, "It's between Hannah G or Hannah
Hmm.
B. So I need you to say something for both." And that whole time, I was hoping it was going to be for Hannah B because I just felt like her energy, how big and loud she can be, and how fun and just she had a huge personality. Like that really is like what I like as my counterpart. And so I was always hoping it was her. And then when it was her and I went on the show, like I truly did, really fall for her and wanted to be with her and those feelings were real.
Yeah.
Looking back, if Hannah B chose you as her fiance or said yes to your proposal, do you think you would have ended up married to her?
I think looking back at it, I think we would have a good shot at getting married. I think if we would have got together then it would have been a completely different predicament between the two of us. I
Hmm.
think there's been a lot of
Yeah.
things that happened since it didn't work out that made us kind of go our separate ways
Hmm.
and for better and for worse. But I really think that we're both fighters and we would have found ways to make it work and fought for our relationship if it were to go that way. I look back at it, I'm like, oh yeah, that definitely wouldn't have never worked out with that person and that person and that person. So, what about you, Natalie? What about your what ifs?
I'm someone that I'm not saying I live with regret, but I definitely am always like, oh, how would life have been different if I made this choice or that choice? Like, I really think about, like, specifically where I am now, I always think about, like I still think about was Love is Blind the best choice for me? Like life would have been so easier if I didn't do it, and where would I be in my corporate career if like I didn't the show kind of didn't hold me back a little bit. So it's just like those thoughts I constantly ruminate, and it's just part of my personality. I
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
like, and maybe it's also the planner in me of like, what did I make the wrong choice like back then, and how do I make sure I make the
the right.
right choice
Yeah.
now, even though I don't think there's really a right choice, but you know what I'm saying.
I
Like,
think you made all the right
Yeah.
choices.
I don't
I
know.
just feel like, yeah, and also I feel like, you can't change the past, so it just like it's a worry that I don't want to have. It's like, okay, well, it's already happened. I don't know what else I'm gonna do. Like I can't do anything about
Yeah.
it now, so it's like you just gotta live with it essentially.
I have
But
regrets. I got regrets about my football
yeah.
career. I got regrets about past relationships, but
Mhm.
those regrets are reminders to not make those same mistakes again. I live with those regrets. Those things, those hurt me. I see people, in the league, in the NFL, and I firmly believe that I should have been there, but couldn't get out of my own way in college. I was a problem kid. And then even with my like early
Mhm.
relationships, I'm like, I had a good thing going there, or maybe I should have really took that serious, and then I just let it, fizzle out. So,
Yeah.
I live with regret, but I think the regrets are constant reminders.
No, I was gonna say I was telling Deepti this like a few days ago. I went to go look at my ex's Instagram profile. He reached out when he saw me on Love is Blind, and so not saying we like reconnected, but like, I hadn't talked to him in years, and I saw he was with another girl and they were like clearly looked very happy in their photos. And I remember thinking like, wow, I was like, I wonder what life would have been like had I not broken up with him and I wasn't so immature in that relationship. I don't know, but I
I
just
know what
thought
you
about it like a little glimpse of life passes you by
mean.
of like what could have been, and
You would be overseas.
Yeah.
now
No,
I'd
I
be in
mean,
San Diego.
Oh, I thought you were
I
gonna
mean,
say.
Natalie, I was looking for something on my phone. I was trying to find a Netflix account to get so like someone's Netflix account I always use. And then one of my ex-girlfriends, you know, messages popped up, and I was reading through my own text. I was
Oh.
like, damn, how did I was like so like mushy and in love. I was like, I don't even recognize that person's text
Mm.
anymore, like how I used to be.
Yes.
Feel like that's not really a regret thing there, but it's more of like, whoa, I can't believe I was that person.
Yeah.
It's a lot to get to that person.
Yeah, I read old text messages often because like I'll look through and like type in keywords and I'm like, oh, like brings you back to the memory. But I have a question for you, Tyler. So, do you think that you would ever go on Love is Blind?
I would do it. I'd do anything. I'm a firm believer. Like just like I went on the Bachelor on a whim, and it was life changing. It was tons of fun, and I met great people. I didn't meet the one. If Love is Blind,
Mhm.
if it was back then and Love is Blind was around and I got to do it, yeah, I'd probably do it. You know what I mean? I think it would be a cool opportunity. Now, would I do it? I don't know. I don't know. Like I have I don't know. It would be a really cool concept to do. The whole getting married thing is scary.
Yeah, like, would you ever be able to propose to somebody, you think, without ever seeing them? Like, is that your
Yeah,
cup of tea?
yeah, I would propose because to me, if it really, really worked, I would propose again the correct way. But I guess you can't because you're gonna get married. And, oh, it's a tough predicament. All right, if I'm on Love Is Blind, yeah, you know what? Shit, I would propose. Yeah, I would do it because you know what? It's an experiment, and if it works out, I got an amazing story to tell my kids one day. If it doesn't work out,
Yes.
it was a cool, cool ride.
So you think you could fall in love with someone sight unseen? Like the physicality doesn't matter?
Yeah, I mean, I think physicality does matter a little bit. I think it's like what, like, in the normal world, like get your foot in the door. If you're attracted to somebody, you go up and talk to that person.
Yeah.
But I do think like as I've gotten older and more mature, and I don't look for those qualities really as much anymore. I look for somebody that's going to help me build what I want to build and the dreams I want to have. And I'm talking about like having a family and having kids and all those things like and like what kind of person they are. Like that to me is what I look at and I really had a hard time finding that until I moved back home to Jupiter and just got back to like kind of a normal lifestyle and being around people that live a
Mhm.
normal life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to find people who relate to that specific experiences, which is why like I think we have such a close bond because like sometimes when I go to like my friends with things, they're like it's just hard for them to understand the complexities of the world that we're a part of, you know? So, yeah, it's like a different type of support for sure.
I agree with you though, in terms of like now where I am in life, like so much more matters than the physicality. It's like, you're right. Like, can I build a family with this person? Are they going to be like what I look for is someone who's really motivated in their career because I know I'm going to work forever. I want to
Mhm.
be like a businesswoman and I'm going to continue doing that. In whether it's in a corporate capacity or with the endeavors that we do, like as entrepreneurs, pretty much. But you're right. We're like now those things matter at this age and like where we are in life.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, I look at
absolutely.
people now, like I hang around, and a lot of them are older, and a lot of them have kids and whatnot, and I sit there and
Yeah.
look at them and their wives, and I'm like, it's so cool. They're just best friends, and it's just them against the world. And I think,
Mhm.
and like that's what I'm looking for now is like finding that person who we're not always going to be the most beautiful person every day. You're not going to look your best in 30 years, neither am I. But can we still stand side by side and be happy and be each other's best friends and build something special? And that's what I'm hoping to find.
Yeah,
And I think you can kind of remove the physical part of it a lot when you look that way.
yeah. That's why Love is Blind was so appealing to me, is because you go through constant changes in life where, you know, your body's going to change. And so, like, are those like core values going to be the things that like keep you guys together forever? So, like, when you build that foundation, it makes it so much easier to, you know, just life together.
Yeah.
But okay, so I have another okay, on a lighter note, I have a fun question for you. So across all of the seasons of Love is Blind, who would you choose to date if you could date one of them?
And it could be married woman
Married
or
woman,
single
anyone.
woman, whatever.
Oh man. I can tell you the woman I'm attracted to for sure. Uh, Raven, Jacquelina, like I think those women, just something that I find them very beautiful. I don't think me and Jacquelina would work out, uh, but
Well,
I think at first I was not big on Raven at all. So I watched her season and I watched how she was like doing jumping jacks when like Bartiz was trying to pour out his heart and his love for her. And I'm like, yo, what are you doing? You know? But and so I was like, man, that's rude. And then as it progressed and I saw her growth with SK, I was like, oh, this girl's great, you know. And so and I've heard nothing but amazing things about her. So she would definitely be the girl.
Okay, bringing this back to social media though, like what was your transition from, being just like a normal person and then becoming a reality TV show star? Like what was
I
that
mean,
like?
it was crazy. It was looking back at it, it was so much fun. It was I was living for 6 months of that. Like right when it started, I moved back home, and I was living at home for a little bit. Then I moved to New York City, and I lived on my friend Matt James's futon for 6 months. I lived on a beanbag for 6 months. But I look back at it, I'm
Oh
like,
my
we had no
gosh.
money, we had nothing, but we had the most fun ever. We had access to everything we wanted to do. We had a ball. But it was definitely a crazy
Mm.
time in my life. I think that the growth from then till now has been crazy. I heard someone say this, I totally believe in it, that 1 year in real life is like 1 year in the industry is like 7 years in real life. And it's a crazy
Yes.
industry and it makes you
Like
go through
dog
a lot.
years.
And it's hard and you learn a ton, but at the end of it, you make it out all right. You're gonna do fine.
Yeah. And do you think like, obviously you got such a big following from the show, and I think one of the biggest followings of all the guys, how do you handle, do you get social media backlash, and how do you deal with it if you do?
Oh yeah, I mean, I've gotten tons of social media backlash for things that I've said, things that I've done. You're not ever always going to make everyone happy, you know. And people just come out at you and lash at you for no reason, you know. And I used to poke around with it and have fun with it, but now I just don't even want to give negativity attention. Your energy and everything you do is so important to keep positive, and stooping to that level is just never good for you. And so now I follow the 80-20 rule. Like you could go through your feed and you see 80 comments and they'd be positive, but then you see 20 of them and they'd be bad, and that'll outweigh all the 80 comments that were good. And I
Yeah.
think you have to really learn how to control that, understand that, and that it's not really you; it's a reflection of themselves.
Absolutely. Most of the time, people are projecting their own insecurities onto you. And yeah, you just have to, sadly, in a weird way, you have to give them grace and just be like, you know what, I guess I have to be in a position where I understand, and just kind of let it go for your own mental health.
I was going to say what has really helped me is in the beginning, I used to look at the profiles of the people who would leave like hate comments or just like mean comments. They just don't seem like they're in a good place themselves. And so I was like, why do their comments matter to me? Or like who I would look at their profiles and be like, who are they to judge? Or they're like a mother of two and they have like a Bible quote in their Instagram. And I was like, okay, like this hypocrite leaving me a mean comment, like great. And it would just like kind of put everything in perspective of like, these comments don't matter, like whatever. It's just probably someone who's like projecting or wants to get their anger out on someone they saw on reality TV. It's weird.
Exactly. And it's
Um,
hate at the end of the day, hate is another form of love. You know, it takes energy to do that. You know, Indifference is truly like not giving a shit and not caring about somebody, but
Yeah.
hating and making comments like there's rooted love in that.
you got a lot of national attention after being on The Bachelorette, about your like public relationships. Like notably, you were in a relationship with Gigi Hadid, who is this high profile model here in the US. Like, what was it like having so many people interested in that relationship online?
It was wild. I remember I didn't know what a paparazzi was. I thought like paparazzis went after Brad Pitt and like Angelina Jolie and not
Yeah.
Jimmy Joe from Jupiter, Florida, and so that I had to get adjusted to and learn from. But it was interesting, and it definitely makes dating hard because you can hang out with somebody, then everyone jumps to conclusions and it creates pressures for the relationship. And you and that person haven't even
Yeah.
gotten to that point yet. You're just trying to figure it out and just trying to get to know each other. And it just almost makes things accelerate. And so dating in the limelight has made things harder in a sense, but it's definitely opened up who I could date, you know. So it's a double-edged sword.
The the pool is much bigger for you.
Yeah.
I like it. I like
Yeah,
it.
you give some, you lose some. Is that the saying? I
Oh
don't
my
know.
God. Natalie says this all the time. You win some, you lose some, like to everything in
But it's
life.
true.
I'm like,
I say tomato,
You go.
you say you win some, you lose some, you know.
Yeah, you win some, you lose some. It's the motto of my life these days. Um,
okay, so the next question I have for you, obviously social media, right? It's a big part of our lives. Do you think that the persona that you put out on social media is who you are in real life?
Not a shot. Not you know, no, it's no one. No one's real persona. And anyone that says it is, it's a bull-faced lie, you know. There's days where I drive
Mhm.
home from work and from whatever, frustrated as hell, upset, you know, depressed, down. I don't post that shit. I don't share that with everybody. I post the fun times, the
Mhm.
good times, you know what I mean? Like, 'cause- and you post what's going to keep things going, whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you know, and some people do post their sad stuff, but I guarantee there's a lot more to it than just that. And then, and so I think social media is such a facade of who that person is and whatnot. It's like a representative of who they are. It's nowhere close or near to who they really are.
yeah.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree with that. And I think we were talking about this. It's like you don't show up the same way you do to work than you would like on a random night on a Tuesday on your couch or
Mhm.
with friends, like you kind of have this different version of yourself that you put out there, and that's exactly what social media
Yeah.
is.
In one of our previous episodes, I said, hey, like I curate my Instagram. We were talking about like influencing and like brand deals. And I got like backlash over it. They're like, oh my gosh, she's faking it. And I was like, look, sorry, but that's the nature of social media. Everyone does it regardless if they're a public figure or not, or a reality TV show contestant. Like it's a curated part of your life and you're going to put your best foot forward most of the time.
I would love to never be on social media, get rid of it and whatnot, but it's such an important tool to everything that I do now, my business, everything. So it's like you have to do it and you have to keep it going. And you're a brand. You got to put your best foot forward. Would the brand Jordan put crappy stuff out on their page? No. So why would you
Yeah.
or why would I put crappy stuff out on you're gonna obviously put your best foot forward.
But, TMZ posted a photo of you like with another woman at a private wedding. And it clearly was taken by like a guest at that wedding. Do moments like that shake you? Because it shakes us when there's these photos that pop up at private events.
Yeah.
And then it's a discussion on social media when, we thought we were, just doing something privately.
Yeah, no, I mean like you go to a private wedding, a private event, and you wanna let loose and be vulnerable and have fun, you know? And then someone does that, it's shady, it sucks, you know? And I remember I going to work the next, 2 days later, and everyone's seeing it, everyone talking shit to me, you know? And I was like,
Yeah.
that's so low rent and so lame. Honestly, the worst thing is Dumois and all these websites that allow everyone else now to be paparazzis, you know? So they're over
Yes.
here, if they see you two out and you're walking with some guy, they're gonna take a picture of it, send it to Dumois. Next thing you know, there's a story about it. That's what happened there. I'm like, so now we avoid spots in New York and LA that don't have paparazzis, but now I can't even just go to my private wedding and avoid a paparazzi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's low rent, it sucks, but but then it's like like I said, it's a double-edged sword at the end of the day. Like it's created so much opportunities to be in the limelight that it's just part of what it is.
Hmm.
Maybe I just got to move smarter.
Yeah, I
But at
think,
the end of the day,
yeah, we just
I like to drink beer and dance on the dance floor and sometimes make out with somebody, you know?
well, it sucks. Yeah, it does kind of suck because, we can't be wholeheartedly ourselves in certain areas now, like or in certain places. So you're like, damn, I know the amount of times I've ended up like on a TikTok or like randomly taking pictures, like people taking pictures of me at dinner or something like that. And I'm like stuffing my face or something, or like with a person.
Yeah,
I'm
like I
like,
look like
dang it.
I was like I look like total shit and I'm like, "Oh, you're high."
Uh,
Um
There's a picture of me on Dumois or TMZ, and I am at a club, wasted, wasted. And I always say no to people when I do pictures, like no to people when I'm drinking. That's like my number one rule. But I don't know. I
Smart.
was either too drunk or I was being nice, and these people got me all cross-eyed and shit in this photo. And I was like,
Oh.
y'all, no, I can't do that shit ever again.
That's so funny because when I'm drunk, I'm just so friendly. I'm just like, yeah, let's take a picture. And I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, am I okay?
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah,
why would I
exactly.
do that to myself?
I know. Or sometimes I'll give my number out because I have fans who will ask for my
Oh,
number,
yes.
and I'm so awkward with saying no that I'll be like, sure.
Wait, you know what
Here
I
you
do? I
go.
just switch up my last two digits when people ask, and then I'll be like, okay, bye.
Oh, I give
Oh,
my
I
little
should do
brother's
that.
numbers
But
away.
like, you what?
I give my little brother's numbers away.
That's savage.
I should give my dad's out or something.
That's even more savage. Don't do that.
Whatever.
Poor dad. Okay, I'm gonna bring it back to social media for you, Tyler.
Yeah.
Does social media define your self-worth? And do you use social media as a tool for validation? Be honest.
I think, of course, like the right answer is no. It should not, define your self-worth or use it for validation. And I hope. Truly does believe that. I think part of
Mhm.
when you go on this show and you blow up and you get all these followers, like, oh man, I'm the shit. I'm untouchable. I can do anything. And then you bounce, you fall a few times, and you learn that you ain't that. You ain't all that you think you are. And then you get back to your normal self eventually. And I think I had to go through that. I went through a little bit of like, yo, I got all this following, this clout, whatever. I can go do whatever I want. You know, I took advantage of it. And I think now that I've gotten away from it and I don't use that to validate myself or my self worth or anything like that. It's more about what responsibilities I'm taking on as a man, and living a life hopefully that I can provide for my family one day, starting a business, all these things that I find that are much more validating than having a following and then having, you know, the foundation I started to me that validates me more than anything I can have on social media. We just gave 104,000 in scholarship money to kids
Oh my
coming
gosh,
up.
that's incredible.
Like to me, that's more validating than anything I could do on social media. So to me, doing things to make an impact is where I find validation now.
That's incredible. And I think we're going to ask you about your foundations that you've started, like in your mom's name. I know you started one with Matt. Like, I love the fact that you're giving back. It like truly makes me so happy that you're using your platform to do something, that one like will make you feel good, of course, but just yeah, you're just helping so many people. And I think that's just such a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
loved what you said though about like how like initially like I did too. I kind of use social media as kind of like this ego booster or it naturally happened, right? Like when you get an influx of followers after the show and you're like, wow, like look at all these people who want to follow me and all these things, but you're right, like what defines you afterward is the other things. Like when this all fades away, it's like what are you doing in your life? What are your goals and your dreams? Like what are you actually doing
it.
with like who you are.
I think it's important to let social media, right? You all have big followings, I have big followings. Let other people think that's your worth. Let them think so much of that
Yeah.
big number next to your name, and then use that to
Mhm.
create opportunities, but never think of it for yourself. Like my name and having that big
Yes.
number next to me and being back home has created so many great opportunities. Restaurants, you know, bar ideas like the scholarship foundation. All these things would have never come without that number. And people see that number and they think so greatly of it. As long as you use it as a tool, I think it's fine. But as long as if you seek validation from that number yourself, it's not good.
Have you watched Black Mirror before, Tyler?
Yes. No.
Remember that episode with the social media follow like
Just
the
watch.
ratings? That shit scares me so much.
I would be like a 2.0.
I know.
I
I
would,
was like,
yeah,
that's scary.
I would be my social media facade would be like a 5.0, But when they meet me in person, that shit would get ding, 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 ding. Especially when I'm drinking and
I know.
terrorizing a bar somewhere. We wouldn't be in this position if we weren't good people. So we would all have high numbers.
I agree. I
Okay, in real talk, I think my social media 3.9, like average. In real life, I think I would get like a 2.5.
no way. I would get
Yeah.
such a high rating in literal life.
I
I
have like
love
such a mean sense of humor that people think I am.
she does have a mean sense of
Yeah,
humor.
I'm like brutal. It's like I don't know how to control it anymore.
It's
Like,
toughened me up for sure.
yeah,
Those are
I
fun
just say it
people,
how
though.
it is these days.
Yeah.
What?
I'm the complete opposite. I'm very, very, very nice. I'm overly nice to
But
everyone.
that's
I'm
a
like,
good quality
Yeah,
to have too.
I see the good in people. I think like innately everyone's good.
Yeah, I think everyone like fucking sucks half the time, and you just kind of have to figure out who's the good ones. You know, it's just the
I,
way life
I need,
Damn, why are
is.
you so who hurt you, woman?
I promise I grew up in a loving home. I'm not like this psychopath.
I need more. I need to be
One
more
of
like Natalie. I'm too much like Deep T.
I'm same.
I need some of Natalie's backbone.
I would love to be more positive like you and Deep D, but I don't see life that way. We mentioned it on your show about social media like impacting our like self-worth and self-confidence. But have you had those moments where social media has really impacted your confidence?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. I've never had anxiety or any of these things until I had social media. You know,
Yeah.
I remember times where during quarantine and things weren't working out with me and Hannah, and social media was just shitting on me. And I was crippled on the couch from it. Reading all these comments and like feeling like crap about myself. And then you sit back and look at it, you're like, yo, you're letting these people make comments about you, about a relationship between you and someone else who they don't even know either of you, and you're taking that
Mm.
and you're
Yeah.
reading it and letting it affect you, and that stuff really did take a toll on me, and it's forced me to grow up and change a lot and look at social media completely differently. I yeah, I think we all have our struggles, and I've had my struggles with it, and anyone who says they don't, I think is a lie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. The internal dialogue you have with yourself has to change so much so
Yep.
that you don't let like outside influence take over, you know?
What
Yeah.
would people say about you?
No, I mean, I just whatever, it could be whatever, and then, you know, what I think is funny and fun to post, a lot of people will come at you or knock it or whatever, and subconsciously you'll read it, and subconsciously it'll take away that freedom you have of posting or talking about whatever you want to talk about. And
Yeah,
and I got to a
100%.
certain point where I was like, I don't even care anymore. I don't even want to post anymore. And then
Hmm.
so I got like a really like a love hate with social media, even still probably. Um, and I brought somebody on my team because I've become so busy with work to help me with social media and whatnot. But social media is a tricky place, and it can be a very slippery slope. So it's definitely not for the weak.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, sometimes I take social media hiatus, and it's so great for me. Oh, I love being recharged by it. Like last December, I took the whole month off, and I was like, it felt so good because when you just turn it off, you're like, holy crap! Like there's a whole world that exists where I
Yeah.
don't have to be so consumed by everybody else. So I totally relate to that.
Um, do you ever compare yourself to other people on social media?
Yeah, I definitely
And does
caught
that
myself.
impact your like self-worth in any way?
Yeah, I definitely caught myself, after a bad breakup, you know, wanting to see, you know, and I saw, of course, who they were with, and I was like looking at that, like, oh, I got to be all that to have someone like that. And I got to have all
Yeah.
this money and these cars and this and that, and that took a toll on me, and it warped my mind for a little while. And I was living in New York City, partying, clubbing, doing all these things, like thinking like that's how the life, showing off this, that, and really just dug myself in a deep and dark, dark, lonely hole. And then, uh, and then when I got out of it, when I found myself at my lowest point, I moved back to Jupiter, and I just got back to like what's normal. I got around good people again, and they and myself, really helped me realize that all I got to do is be me, and do what I want to do and love what I'm
Mhm.
doing, and that'll help me find the right person for me, and stop worrying about being what everyone else is, and just be me. I have good mentors, good friends, and they hear me talk about it. And I had an ex literally was like, she was like, I need a yacht and a private jet before I settle down and have babies. And in my stupid love drunk ways, I was like, okay, I can get that, I can figure that out. My ego was so big. But then, looking back at it now, I'm like, why would I ever let that be a deciding factor on why I would marry someone or have kids or anything like that? Like, that's not who I am. Like, I used to have,
Yeah.
I not even till like a year ago, I'd pull up in a beat up truck. Yeah, it just blew up like a year, like last September. But I was taking pride in driving this old beat up truck, work truck, and I think it's just realizing that what your worth is what you validate yourself as, not what everyone else does or what everyone else has.
Yes. Yeah, you don't need like fancy things or like things like that to define that, you're worthy of love in any way. I think
Yep.
Yeah.
that's, yeah, absolutely not. But so are you dating right now? Like tell us a little bit about your love life.
Man, I'm trying to date around. I'm back in Jupiter, so it's, I've dated some girls from back in the day. I dated some old college girlfriends. I've tried to rekindle some things. I've tried, I'm just dating around. Nothing that has landed or hit so far. But
Mhm.
the bat's off my shoulder. I'm taking my swings and giving it a try. But work's been killing
Shooting
me
your
right.
shot.
Work's been killing me right now. So
I bet.
I think
Hmm.
as work slows down, I got to make some more time.
Yeah. Is Jupiter kind of small?
It is. It's like a
It's like
small
is
little
it a
boat
smaller
town.
city or is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's gonna be the pool is smaller, it's just harder to
That's why you got to reach out to those
those oh
exes.
yeah, those
Yeah,
exes gotta
exactly.
come back around.
I'm over there messing with the high school sweethearts and stuff now. But
That's
nah,
actually
See,
cute.
I can't do that. It's like
High
once I'm
school
done, I'm
sweetheart.
done. There's no going back.
Yeah, there's a
really.
reason they're an ex,
Yeah.
Well, I
right?
never really had a
Not for
girlfriend
Tyler
until
though.
I never had a girlfriend until I was 22. Now, if you're my girlfriend and we broke up, I ain't never going back.
Yeah.
So these are just like girls you've dated or
Never back
had
in the
little
past.
Yeah,
flings
yeah,
with.
Yeah,
exactly.
that makes sense. Wait, so are you on dating apps or like how are you going about dating?
I have the Rye app, and I tried that, and that didn't lead to a good relationship. But then I I was on it. I try to do it. To me, I just can't like fathom, generating a conversation, trying to set up a date. To me, I'm just so busy. It's so hard, and it literally just sits there and does nothing.
Yeah. Has social media changed the way you date? Like now you have this big platform.
Oh yeah, they respond to the shots I shoot. Back in the day, they would never respond.
Oh. I
It
That
was
love
blue
that. I
that
love
blue
that.
check mark puts you at the top of the DMs.
it was so funny, man. When the show aired, The Bachelor aired, I would be sending crazy DM. I would be like, nobody, Joe Schmo, sending DMs to these girls, like all local, like hot girls and like that I knew in South Florida that I was attracted to. And then then they would never respond. But then when the show blew up, they're like, "Oh my God, hey, I didn't see this. What's up?" I'm like, "Nah, that
You're
shit's
like
fake.
lost your chance.
Yeah, that
Yeah,
shit's
you're
fake."
like, not again. Dude, I love that too because a lot of my like high school crushes and like, I was obviously like they were out of my league. And they like all slithered back and I was like, "Oh, all of a sudden you want something to do with Deeps, huh?" And it's
That's
so funny.
crazy.
But
I love it.
okay, I have a last question for you,
Last
Tyler.
question. I don't want it to end.
Well,
No,
we'll
he
keep going. We love
no,
talking with you.
he's like he's done. He's like answer the damn.
Well,
Give me
he
the
had a
last question.
sandwich. He's ready to go. Okay, we just want to ask you, what are you working on and what are your future goals?
What am I working on? Well, I have my radio show, the Everybody But Me show, which is a fun dating show about just exploring the world of singledom because It's everybody but me in my world that has a relationship, you know. But so that's a fun show we do every
And
Tuesday.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys can be guests every week. It's a show we do every Tuesday at 6 p.m. on 6 p.m. Eastern time on the AMP app. So that's been a lot of fun. But then also, I started a construction company down here. So I've been doing that. I've renovated a bunch of houses lately. I'm about to sell a house. So that's been great. It's been a lot of hard work, a lot of learning. And then my foundation, we started the Andrea C. Cameron Foundation in honor of my mom. And just recently, we awarded 4 girls full tuition to the university they're going to this year, and which means like we gave over $104,000 worth of scholarship money, and we're just stoked that we can be an impact in these young girls' lives. And I tell them, you're a part of the family now. Any way I can help you, network for you, anything to put you in a position to win. That's all I want to do, and that's probably the most rewarding thing I do. And we have a big event this Friday in West Palm Beach, so that'll be fun. But we're gonna keep raising money, keep making a difference, and yeah, there's a lot of big goals. I want to have a school one day. I want to do cool things to keep impacting the community, helping out, and keep growing my construction company. I'm a South Florida boy. I want to be a South Florida boy forever.
I love that. And also, I would love to help with your foundation as well. So I'd love to contribute. I think that
Well,
would be
put
so dope.
October
Let us
26th on
know.
your calendar. Put October 26th on your. Don't make plans, ladies. You guys are coming with me down here for our gala. It's gonna be great. Last year we sold it out. It
Yes.
was a big party. But we're gonna do a night in Capri here in Jupiter. So buckle up, bring your drinking shoes.
Please, that
We're
sounds,
going to be partying.
yeah, let's go.
No, that's amazing. I
Mhm.
mean, it's crazy because I've heard your name before, Tyler, before we were able to talk to you through this podcast. And there's so much more to you. Like, I think I just saw you as this attractive guy from The Bachelorette, but you have so much, like, just so many
Depth.
goals and, so many things you're working
Mhm.
on. And it's so just, I think, refreshing to see from someone who kind of took the attention and really made huge impacts with it beyond just like selfish, like, impacts. So it's been amazing talking to you and just like learning from you as well.
I appreciate you guys. You
Absolutely.
guys have been so sweet, so fun. And like I said, would love to see y'all soon. Hopefully, I'll show y'all a good time in Chicago, show y'all how it's done. And well, good
Oh, you're
talking.
gonna show us how it's done in Chicago, in our own city. I love that. We can't wait. Yes, let us know when you're in Chicago,
Yeah,
I will.
thanks.
please.
And again, thanks so much for coming on Out of the Pods. And we are so thankful that you were able to share everything about social media and the impact it's had on you.
Of
Yeah.
course. And the only request is when a new season comes out, I want to talk through one of the episodes with y'all.
Yes,
Yes.
please.
I've always been
We
wanting
would
to
We'll
talk
we'll
about it.
do some
No one ever
recaps.
watches it around here with me. So
Well,
watch it.
you got two girls who watch it a lot. So here we go. We have your back.
tapped in
Yes.
We'll
with
watch it
y'all.
with you.
Awesome. Well, I
Amazing.
appreciate you.
Thank you, Tyler.
See ya.
Appreciate
Thank you.
you. Bye. As always, please continue sending your questions and comments to our out of the
That's fine. And leave a review and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.
Wait, that's actually cute.